Good morning. It is September 30th, and I'm just going to make a very quick vlog asking for prayer. On top of everything that's happened in my life, all the ups and downs, you just never know when the next huge, horrific event will hit you. My brother, who I've spoke about many times on here, fell yet again after just being released from the hospital 5 days. I told him that he had no business being released. He was too weak. He lives alone. And something bad was going to happen again. I knew it. I foresaw it. I warned him. But the hospital was the hospital. And 2 days ago, he had a major fall. They rushed him to the hospital after being found 20 minutes later. And yesterday morning, he was rushed to another hospital for emergency life-saving brain surgery. He had hit his head. They missed that he had a brain bleed. He survived the surgery. I spoke to the surgeon directly after he was brought out of surgery, and I was told in no uncertain terms that he was literally clinging to life. And if he survived, he had a very slim chance of surviving. But with much prayer, he has made it through the night. And it's been 24 hours since the surgery was performed. And that's the most crucial time period. There is no change in his status. They had to remove part of his skull, took it right out because the brain was swelling, so removed several brain blood clots. And now it's just wait and see. They have him heavily sedated, clearly. But on the hour, they bring the sedation just down enough that he can hear and see what he's reacting to stimuli, painful stimuli. His right side, he has some movement. Not much, but there is. Left side, there's nothing. He has a continual bleed from the surgical site. Therefore, he had to have a blood transfusion. His whole family is here. Myself, his daughters, my sister. He has a girlfriend there who lives 70 miles away from him, but she was by his bedside the entire time. And I thank God for her, because we couldn't be there. So I need to meet with his daughters, neither who lives real close to me. One lives a good hour away from me. And we have to decide what our next step is in regards to going to be with him, bringing him home one way or another. I hate to say this, but alive or dead, we have to bring him home. And I just have to trust God that he's going to give me the strength to do this, because I don't have it in me to travel. I feel like all that will bring me right back to ground zero again. And I don't want to go back to ground zero. I actually went to church to get prayer, and then I left and came back home yesterday morning. But a woman who had not seen me, that I'd been back to church all these months, because she goes to the early service, had stopped me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're back. Are you better?" And I said, "I am better." And she goes, "So I forgot, are you healed? Are you recovered? And I said, no, I don't believe I'll ever be, I shouldn't say that, but I did say it. I don't ever believe I'll be completely rid of this, but I am doing much better and I'm functioning. And I fear, and I'm not supposed to fear, but I do, that all this is gonna throw me back into a tizzy, the stress. I lost my mom. Just 6 months ago. And I lost my brother 2 years ago. I'm not ready to do this all over again. Not just yet. And he's our baby brother. So if you're watching this, I ask that you send up prayers, even if it's just one prayer, please. Because I'm the matriarch right now of this family. And I'm the liaison with the hospital. Even though his girlfriend's there, she doesn't know medical jargon and she's very ill herself. This woman has lupus. She makes me look like the picture of health. She's very, very ill. And this is really gonna knock her off her feet too, but I'm the one who's really the liaison with speaking to the doctors, understanding what they're saying. It's so helpful to be a nurse. Speaking to his daughters, they're both in their 20s, so they're adults, but it's their papa. Decisions we might have to make in the near future if he doesn't make a turnaround. Anyways, I ask that you pray for my family. Lift up my brother. His name is Ernie. He does YouTube channels himself. I think that if you just look up Ernie Fowler, his vlogs might come up. This all could have been prevented if they had not let him out of the hospital. My whole family came over here for dinner yesterday. We had planned on having our dinner, Sunday dinner anyway, so we continued with that, which was such a blessing. I needed my family around me. I needed to be encouraged. I needed to be held. I needed to be loved on, and that's what happened. And it was a great distraction, whereas my sister, God bless her, she was down in Massachusetts alone. Her husband had an engagement he could not break, and so he was gone most of the day. She was home alone, and it was not good for her. She had a very bad day yesterday. There was no distraction. She just sat and waited minute by minute because the surgeon literally said, this is a minute by minute thing right now, if he survives. I can't remember his exact verbiage, but it was, I want to say he said if I was a betting man. He did not say that, but basically it was, if I was a betting man, he's not going to make it through this. Because I explained, I'm a nurse. I need for you to talk to me as a nurse and be very frank. And he was very grateful that he could, because with family members you have to really step lightly and use, layman's terms. And so when I just told him out flat, I'm a nurse and I need to be spoken to as a nurse and spoken to frankly, and he did such, which was a little more than I could handle. I realized, well, that was not a great idea, because he was very frank. But God is good, and he is in control of this, and I am just leaning on God. I want to hear my brother's voice one more time. I want to talk to him. I had his girlfriend do a FaceTime with me so I could see him. I said, I want to see the room. I want to see his monitors. I want to see his body. I want to see everything he's on life support. I want to see it all. And she did that for me. And I said, now, please put the phone as close as you can to his ear, the one that's not bandaged completely, so I can speak to him. did. And our last words together was the day he was getting released from the hospital. And my last conversation was, it's gonna happen again, Ernie. You're gonna be right back there. Unless they send you home with an aid daily. I didn't want to be right. I didn't want to be right. I was right. I was right. All right, that's all I have to say. I'm holding on to what little I have. God's graced me with strength. I can't think about my symptoms right now. I don't have time to even think about anything I'm feeling physically because it's not important.